Good afternoon. Welcome back to the PNH event space. Today we are going into some cinematic music video lighting techniques hosted by Nanlite. I gotta say, this is completely unsolicited right here. Nanlite's been all over the place, man. So I'm hoping you're gonna go into this, Julian, because everyone I know, especially music video, a lot of people who are getting their start in cinema and doing their own little video projects, everyone's got man lights. What is it? Before you start, what is it? Is it the right light? The price is right. It's just a combination of everything.
Man, I think it's a combination of everything. They hit all the right points. The quality's there. You can't beat it, and they're super easy to use as well, and they look good and clean on set. So I mean, that's also a plus. So
I'm gonna
yeah,
trust you. I'm gonna trust
yeah,
you.
man.
You're the man that's here that's gonna lead us. So I'd like to welcome Julian York. Obviously, a huge thank you to Nanlite for hosting. I will remind everybody if you do have any questions at all, drop them into the chat on YouTube. Julian, I'll let you do your thing, and I will see you in a bit for some Q&A.
Awesome. Sounds good, man. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Julian York. I am a music video director and DP based out in Los Angeles. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. Not super long, but I've been in the game and I've been able to shoot for some cool people and create some cool things in my short time. So yeah, we're gonna get started with some music video lighting techniques today. Let me figure out the screen here. We'll get you guys going. Alrighty. So, so who am I? I'm Julian York once again. I've been shooting videos since I was about since the age of 10 years old. I always shot like little home movies and any sort of video I could get my hands on with a little camcorder. I was shooting all the time with my friends, which led me, where I am today. I went to community college for film, got an associate's in media arts and entertainment technology, and then after that, I went to university to, try for a bachelor 4 year degree, but didn't learn too much from college, so I ended up dropping out. I was learning more on my own little shoots, which took me out to Los Angeles. I was in front of the camera for a while doing modeling and acting, and then I wanted to transition behind the camera, to create some cool things. So in 2020, I purchased like my first professional camera. It was like, one of those Sony's mirrorless cameras, and started shooting music videos. I fell in love with them. I didn't look back from that point on. And today, that is my primary focus: music videos as well as commercials and short form content. Love anything in that realm. And today, I'm a director, DP, and content creator. Just keeping it going. So where I started in terms of the lighting world, I shot a lot of natural light scenarios. I'm sure many of us have. Just shot outside. I don't know how things are supposed to go or be lit. I just shot what seemed to look okay outside. Didn't care what the framing was or composition or where the light is coming from. I just was shooting blindly. But I was always intrigued with lighting from the start. Back in college, they kind of told us a little bit about lighting, some bare bones basics, but they didn't teach us too much. And I was always intrigued whenever I saw lights. I was like, wow, like how do we create something from scratch? That was always pretty cool to me. So when I could, I purchased some affordable small lights to get started, and I had some people actually lend me some lights with like the tungsten bulbs and stuff in them. That's how I kind of started with those older lights, and I use them any chance I possibly could. I love using lighting. I try to stay away from outdoors, to be honest with you. I didn't know how to utilize it, but I experimented through trial and error. That's the best scenario. And I'm from a place that doesn't really have a big entertainment industry, not a lot of resources like studios or rental houses. So head to work with what you got, improvise, and that's probably the best scenario to learn in at the end of the day. And I'm thankful to have started from that place. So why is lighting important? Good lighting will always overshadow good camera and lenses, and I preach this, and this is a very important topic. No matter what kind of camera you have, if you ever hung up on that, it doesn't matter really too much at the end of the day. As long as your lighting is good, that's what's gonna play out to look really good on camera. So I mean, bad lighting means a bad image at the end of the day. With a good camera can go a long way, but good lighting goes even further. It's gonna help draw attention to and express the emotion of whatever scene you're shooting. If it's dark and moody, it's gonna, play out in that realm. If it's more bright, vibrant, high key, that's a whole different look. So lighting is everything. I preach that as well all the time. Lighting is everything. Without lighting in our film and music videos and really any video in general, the video wouldn't exist or, you wouldn't see anything. So that's the most important part of, film and music videos of today. Now, in terms of music videos, lighting different scenarios, there's going to be different ways you do them. What I kind of mentioned earlier, dark and moody, high key stuff. The genre and, style of the music matters, and the mood and pacing of the song is going to help decide what that lighting is going to be. So if you're shooting a, rap or hip hop video, they tend to usually be on that more, high contrast, more shadows, darker sides, versus like a, alternate or pop video. It could be a lot more bright, high key lighting, lots of, colors, stuff like that. But they could be also interchangeable as well. It depends on the artist and the song, as I mentioned. And as well as male versus females, they like to be lit differently. Guys usually like to be lit a little bit darker, have some more shadows, kind of define their face more. Could be interchangeable as well. But females, more high key, soft, beauty lighting. That's usually the way to go in terms of, different scenarios in music videos. Now, today, Nanlite is our sponsor for today, and they were kind enough to send out one of their newest lights, which is the Alien 300C, which is a RGBWW light panel. And I was able to use that on my music video. It was a great light to use, perfect to utilize for music videos or commercials or really any purpose. It's a really good high output panel. If you've ever used Nanlite's mix panels, this is basically like the updated version of that, and it's amazing. It's really worth it. It's got all sorts of new features. It looks clean. It's built like a tank. It's got high output. It's a large source. Super easy to use. And I know we're not here for looking at an unboxing video today, but I do have that for you in case you just want to see what's in this light. I have a little unboxing for you guys. So open the box. Comes in a nice sleek packaging, really slim, super portable. Nanlite has been doing a lot of that lately. I use all their lights for all my videos, and portability is super important, and they've done that with the Alien 300C. Open the box here, and you got your standard DC input output wires. And then you got your control box. This is probably one of the nicest control boxes I've seen from Nanlite. Nice screen, nice sleek looks. Got a little sleek silver colors, nice silver black. Looks great. And then you got your standard clamp to put the control box on. And then last but not least, the Alien 300C built beautifully, as you can see, with a softbox that's actually already on the light, which is super convenient. And then you can just sling it on and off just like that with this little strap here. Makes it super easy to just go on set and pop it open. And then you get your other layers of diffusion and some grid to help control the light. And then there's a water cover as well for the control box, because this light is actually waterproof, built like a tank. It's awesome. So if you ever need to shoot out in the rain, it can do that. And then this is just setting up the light, putting it up there. Softbox pops out. It's probably one of my favorite things. Their panels have done that recently. Looks super cool. Then setting that up, light turns on, super nice and bright. 300 watts of power. That's gonna cover basically anything you need. If that's a light you want to start out with or use for your projects, it's gonna do that. It's got all the colors. It's got different effects modes. You get the gist. We'll move on from there. So today, the main topic we're going over is 4 music video lighting techniques. We're going to go over single source lighting, contrasting colors, motivated lighting, and dynamic lighting. Now, these frames here are from one single music video that incorporates all these techniques that I shot recently, and we're going to go over a deep dive of how I set them up, what lights I used. There's going to be some little videos behind the scenes, and yeah, you're going to see how this all works, and hopefully you guys leave here inspired and learn something new to take on your own productions. So let's get into it. So what is single source lighting? This is pretty much in the name. Single source lighting, you're only going to be using one light, right? And this is usually a high contrast option, but can also be realistic and flattering, depending on how you shape it. The direction of the light is really going to decide your overall look here. So depending on where you put it, that's going to be, the whole thing relies on how you control and shape it, as I just mentioned. So if you're using different modifiers like projection attachments, Fresnels, soft boxes, layers of diffusion, that's going to really decide it. So like a top light or a backlight, like in one of these frames here on the right, that's going to be more moody and dramatic. A more frontal or side light, it's going to be flat and harsh if you're using certain modifiers, but could be nice and flattering as well if you're using, softbox or diffusion. It all really depends, but single source lighting can be great, depending on how you want to use it. And that's, one of my favorite things when shooting music videos is just be simple sometimes, but I like to shoot on the more moodier side. That's kind of my style, and using one single source kind of hits the nail on that sometimes. So for this music video in general, these are some frames here from the video. We got some close-ups and some wide shots that you can see here. I used a hard spotlight to put focus on the artist. This is actually the very first scene of the music video that you see, and I want to set off some cool tones, kind of a calm and confident beginning. And then we have some haze in there to lift the shadows and give the light dimension, as you can kind of see the spotlight coming down from the sky there in a way. And yeah, it's gonna look pretty cool. I'll show you guys a snippet from the actual music video itself, the very beginning, and then some behind the scenes breakdown, how this is gonna go. So here we go. This is the very start of the music video. As you can see, got a whole bunch of different angles that are about to pop up. Very simple, one light, very effective. It puts a focus on the artist and starting the song out very, calm and collected. And then boom, or transitioning to the next scene. So for this scene, I use the Nanlite Forza 500B. It's a bi-colored 500 watt light, super powerful with their projection attachment. So that's going to help me get that nice hard spotlight that you see in the video. And I actually take this and put it on top of this storage container here. I'm at this really cool set location out in Los Angeles, and I was thankful for these storage containers. I was able to put it way high up in the sky versus me. Originally, I was gonna put it on the ground as high as I could go with a stand, but this even made the production value look way cooler. Putting that light way up in the sky gave a lot more dimension and a lot cooler look in my opinion. So this is me just setting up, putting on the storage container, and then we're gonna turn it on. As you can see this light beam that originally isn't there without haze. So putting haze in the scene is gonna give you that light beam and that look there that we're going for. But yeah, put this at 100% power to give everything I can, because when you only have one single source, typically I try to use as much power as I can. So going with a 500 watt light is my go-to for that situation. This is me just finding my spot in the floor here, and then as you can see here, I'm putting water on the floor. And you might ask, like, why are you putting water on the ground? For one, it looks great. Two, the main reason is it actually gives some reflections off the floor and onto our talent or artist. Very slight, very subtle, but it does fill in a little bit of the shadows that you might get from the floor coming up. So that's a really nice little touch, little technique that you can maybe use for yourself. But trying to use the resources I have with one light is going to be the thing I want to do. And then lastly, we're throwing in some smoke or haze here to give us some dimension of our light. And then here's me shooting some handheld shots. Right here, got our different scene. You can see our light beam coming down, kind of like an angelic, super spotlighty look, which I really loved for this scene. Looks great. Turned out awesome. So yeah, that's single source lighting. Pretty self-explanatory for what that is. And this is a top-down, self-explanatory in itself. We have the Forza 500B with a projection attachment, shooting straight down from on top of that storage container. And then I'm just on the other side, getting that silhouette look for our artist while he's doing his thing and rapping for this music video. So next is contrasting colors. Now, this is something that is widely used literally everywhere, and something that you may not, you know, really pay attention to if you don't know about it. And it's kind of a subconscious thing that you see when you have complementary colors all over the place. Each color that you see is going to evoke a different mood and emotion subconsciously. We have the color wheel here on the left, if you can see that. We have, red and green, blue, orange, purple, yellow. These are complementary colors that you might see pretty often out in the world and in the film world. And each color has its own meaning most of the time. So, for example, like red could be, more intense feelings and ideas of action, like anger, or it could be romantic, powerful, dangerous, stuff like that. Blue is more, on the calm side, more positive. Could be also sad and, cold as well, depending on how you spin it. Yellow is more attention grabbing. It's something you don't see as often as well. It could be, symbolizing happiness, wisdom, or more of a summer vibe. Orange is more, on the warm side. Can mean, more vibrant, balance, energy in your scenes. And then green, I feel like symbolizes more stronger emotions. So that's going to be, you kind of go with nature with that, renewal, like, or it could be destruction and death, and could be really anything how you spin it as well. Depends on the the video that you're shooting. And then purple, I feel like that's more of the royal, feminine type of color. It could be more romantic, powerful. So when you see these colors, those are some of the things that you might associate them with. Each color is going to draw attention to certain details, and change it'll show the change development in the story as well from the progression that you see in film or music videos. And each complementary color is going to create contrast in your video. So you see in this little frame here at the bottom from the music video that I'm going to show you, we have the orange and blue type of look, and that is a very widely used color scheme in all of Hollywood and film, very popular. So what I use here is orange teal color combination. I kind of want to go with the classic, more natural look, kind of like daylight versus like cool warm tones. And this helps draw your attention towards the artist in the middle, who is in a white hoodie. And I did this on purpose, more of like a high contrast look to build tension in the scene. This is kind of right in the middle of the music video. I wanted to build the complexity of the setups as the video progressed. And so we started out with single source lighting for a few of the first scenes of the video, and then we transitioned to something like this, which is a little bit more complex in the lighting setup. And then we have some haze in there to provide some texture and atmosphere. You see all those light pinholes coming through the wall there. That is due to haze. So how do we do the scene? I'll show you the actual music video clip, and then behind the scenes breakdown of where all the lights are placed and what we did here for contrasting colors. So boom, we come in. This is actually a very simple scene versus what the lighting is. I kept it on a tripod. Wanted to keep it simple in that aspect to put focus on the artist and in a nice lit scene. So we started with this lamp here in the back. I used a Nanlite Pavo bulb 10C. This is a bulb that you can control from your phone, or from the little buttons on there. Has all different colors or brightnesses. Very convenient on set versus regular bulbs that you would use. Next, we have this little light fixture on the ceiling. I used, instead of a fluorescent tube, we used one of their Nanlite Pavo tubes, the little flashing effect, just for some little movement and top light on our subject when needed. And this is me, signaling that this flashing light is going on. Next, for our blue color here, we used the Nanlite Forza 500B, once again with a projection attachment. And I had this thing at like 100% power, I think. And this is basically just blasting through these little holes in the wall. I'm not sure if you can see the holes there, but they're all like little pinholes in this wall that I just blasted the spotlight through. I put a spotlight on it for the reason of maximizing the output of the light when you put a spotlight attachment on lights like this with a lot of power, it's going to not only make it, more focused, it's going to make it way brighter as well, maximizing that. So that's for the blue side, and now for the window, we use the new Nanlite Alien 300C light panel. What I did here, I did not just shine it through the window. I use a white bounce card. So this is a 5-in-1, foldable reflector I used, and I just threw it on a C stand, and then we take the Alien 300C and bring it around and bounce it off of the bounce card. So this is going to make the light coming through the window a lot more, I guess, blown out and natural, in my opinion, versus me just shooting it straight through the window. It's going to be a lot more harsh. So this helps, make the whole window really orange and more like a super like hot and sunny day. And then this is, with the lights off, you can see where the lights are going here. So we have our projection attachment 500B shooting straight through those holes there. And then we have our Alien 300C, as you can see, bouncing off this white card. And we're going inside, back in there to the set. For our key light on our subject, I used another panel. It's a Nanlite Pavo Slim 60CL, little small light. As you can see, gives our talent a little bit of exposure, because without a key light, he would just be a pure silhouette and shadow with all the lights behind him. And one more light that I forgot to mention, actually, if you can see in this right kind of bottom corner there, there's a little orange light on the opposite side of the lamp. On the other side, I just did that to fill in the shadows in that corner because it was a little too dark versus everything else in the scene. So just a nice little practical light there to throw in the shot. I felt like was necessary and looked good in my opinion. And then from the scene that you saw in the beginning there, the artist is hard cutting to different spots in the scene, and I moved this key light whenever he did move. For the purpose of keeping it consistent with lighting on his face. And if I were to keep it in one spot and just, shoot the brightness up, it's going to look way different for each of those like strong, sharp cuts there. So yeah, that's pretty much contrasting colors for this scene. I'll bring you back to the beginning of this to show you how it looks. We have our artist here, got the lamp, tube at top, all the light beams coming in, this nice little light in the back corner, and I think pulls it all together to make a nice, simple scene also look complex at the end. And then we have our top down of what this set was called. It's called the trap room, based on the grunginess of it. So we have, once again, our Pavo Slim 60CL as a key light on our talent to give him some exposure. We have the Forza 500B shooting, through those holes in the wall to give us that blue little punch. And then the Alien 300C with a white bounce card shooting through the window. And then a Pavo Tube 15C on the ceiling for a top light. Pavo Tube 6C in the back corner there. And then a Pavo Bulb 10C for our lamp, pulling it all together. I think it turned out pretty good. Hopefully you guys can understand how that all pulled together in contrasting colors. Orange teal is one of my favorite go-tos, and definitely a favorite go-to for all of Hollywood and films. So next is motivated lighting. Now, motivated lighting, if you don't know what it is already, it is basically you taking lights and mimicking light sources that are already in your scene. So with this scene I'm going to show you shortly, this is making your light sources appear more natural and adding more depth and realism to the scene that you're shooting. So for example, if you have the sun, shooting through a window in your scene is not as bright as you want it, you could take a light and, shoot it also through the window or in your scene to help enhance the sun and make it look more realistic than it actually originally was. Another thing is like if you have a lamp in your scene and the lamp is not as bright as you want it to be, outside of that shot there, you could have a light on the side, hitting your talent or the scene that you're in, enhancing that lamp, making it look way brighter than it actually is, and fully lighting your scene. And then in my example here on the right, you can see some neon signs, and that's going to be our motivators for the scene I'm going to show you. Neon signs, I place some lights by them to enhance them because realistically they're not as bright, by themselves as they would be without some little extra push with some lights. So you want to create a believable world, and that's the whole goal here. So I'm going to show you what I did for this scene, and this is probably one of the more complex setups of the whole music video. So for our motivators in this, as you can see in these frames here, we have the green neon sign, and then there's a an open sign there on the right. I can kind of associate neon with nighttime, so that's kind of the mood and vibe I created and was going for. And this scene I feel like helped enhance the storytelling further, and another type of like real environment with this little storefront here. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, I built the scenes with this song to build in complexity as the song progressed. I wanted to start very simple and then go very complex as the song went, because this song is actually like a freestyle rap song. And I wanted to take this video and kind of treat it as, that same type of style. So a freestyle music video in a way, kind of starting out simple and then progressing into more complex setups and getting more exciting as the video goes on. So that's what we did here with this. Now I'm going to show you behind the scenes of how we created this motivated lighting and the clip from the actual music video. So we did same thing here. This comes right after the contrasting color scene. Kept it on a tripod. Looks really great from the artist. Super simple. I'll show you one more time. It's really short. But we have a lot of things going on here. I'm going to show you what made those things happen. So first things first, I'm going to start with this green neon sign. We have two, lights that start us off here. We're also shooting in a set that has, no places to start. So with these little motivators, it gave me a starting point to go off of. So to enhance this green neon sign, it is bright, but it's not bright enough. So we're gonna take this Nanlite Pavo Slim light panel here, which is RGB, and we're gonna swing it behind this set, which is empty, and we have the ability to hide this light behind the wall here and swing it over. So I'm gonna turn that on and then use the Nanlite app, which is super convenient to help change the colors. And then I try to match it to that green color that's going on here. As you can see me trying to, pinpoint it with my eyeballs there to see the green. And yeah, we take that and we're gonna swing it down over and over this wall here. This is me getting a sandbag. Sandbags, little side note. If you don't have sandbags when you're swinging lights over, high walls, or, when your lights like this, it's gonna tip over, and it's dangerous for talent, or, anything could be seen. Don't want a light tipping, so throw a sandbag on that front leg there so it doesn't fall. And then we're just gonna swing it over top here. And you get to see the green neon looks a lot brighter. Now I'm gonna go back to see if we can find a point to where it wasn't as bright. So take a look at it here now, as the green, and then we're gonna go back and see how it looked before I added this green. So yeah, take a look at it there. It illuminates some of the wall there and the side, but it's not as bright, hopefully, as you can tell. And then we add this Pavo Slim, and it is, exceptionally way more brighter and covers a lot more area, and also hits the floor, which you can't really tell. But yeah, it enhances that light. That is, essentially motivated lighting is making lights that are already there much brighter and realistic than they actually are for the purpose of the scene. Next, we are going to start with this open sign. And the thing that drew me to this open sign is this blue flashing. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing with this Nanlite Pavo Sim 120C. I'm gonna swing it over the back of this set here and do a blue flashing effect. Throwing another sandbag on the light here. And we're going to control it from the app. which has an effects mode in this light. It's super convenient and easy to use, especially as if you're, doing things by yourself like I was here. It helps having, apps that do this for you. Besides, going the light back and forth, back and forth. And then this is me trying to match the flashing with my hand here to get the timing right. And I think I got it. But yeah, we swing this over. And now this light is so much brighter than it originally was. This open sign originally had um, no, no light really illuminating from it. It was pretty dull. So with this blue flashing, oops, not bad there. Blue flashing kind of helped enhance that and made it look realistic. So those are our two motivators for this scene. Now there's a lot more lights that go into building the scene. I'm gonna try to show you real quickly here, not take too long. But this is one of the more complex scenes of the whole video, but it turned out awesome. So I'm gonna take this Nanlite Forza 60C here, and I'm going to place it inside the store to make it look like it's open, because this is not a real store. So we want to make it look like that at nighttime. And I'm going to shine this light to have kind of like a sliver of light, shooting through the door. I'll show you here, coming back to very beginning of the video. If you can see this sliver of light coming out the door, that's what we're doing here. Makes it look like it's open, right? Hopefully. But yeah, that was our goal with that. Kind of nice little warm light coming down. Like there's, some ceiling fixtures in there, but nobody knows that, right? That's, it's all an illusion at the end of the day. But yeah, we got that. And you see this nice little sliver of light shooting through the door. I was pretty happy with that. Now we're going to move on to put a light under this little awning here to make the store look more open from the outside. Just a little, slight touch. And we're going to take another panel, which is a Nanlite PAVOSIM 60CL, and throw that under there. I just kind of put it on these wooden beams here, just stuck it there. No rigging. And then I powered it behind this thing. Uh, this is me trying to throw this wire behind this wall, and I couldn't get it back there for the life of me. I was hitting the other light. Yeah, it was a great time. But yeah, this is me turning this on, and now you see here we have this nice little accent under the awning. And then for the main nighttime vibe and look, I want a moonlight look, kind of like a light blue going on. So we took this Nanlite PAVOSIM 240C, which is a much larger panel source, and I stuck it up as high as I could put it on a stand. And this acts as our top light for our talent, and then general just ambience for the overall scene, with like a light blue color kind of casting over the whole store and the floor and everything else there. As you can kind of see with my hand motions covering the floor. Now next is I add a little practical light. So we have this ATM machine here in the back. I add a little Nanlite Pavo tube as a little practical light. Just took some gaff tape and stuck it right on there. It's a really subtle, simple thing, but it does make a big difference in the scene, just to make it look like this little ATM machine is on. And it's a nice little touch. I'll take you back to the beginning here. If you take a look at this, this wide shot here, you can see the ATM there. Just this is a nice little touch. If it was empty, I feel like it wouldn't look right. I don't know. I needed something there. So that's what we kind of just add that little nice little touch. And then after that, I don't know. I think that was the last light. Oh no, we got okay, we have one more light. The Alien 300C, that was our key light on our talent, lighting him up. And then we had a grid on it to help focus the light on our subject. Without a grid, the light would kind of go everywhere. So I wanted it directly on our artist. And I just kind of had that at a 45-degree angle, lighting him up. As you can see, the Alien 300C, the screen on this is like one of the nicest screens I've seen on Nanlite's like fixtures. It's like super nice and like clear. And I'm gonna run and turn the lights off so you can see the difference that it makes with all the lights pulled together. This is a whole bunch of lights, kind of a complex scene. That's me showing it off. Uh, but yeah. And then lastly, I take some water and put it on the floor, and I'm going to spread that out. Love using some water on the floor. And the main reason I did it for this scene in particular is to get reflections off of the floor with the neon signs and all the lights going on. It just adds another, layer of depth. After you see this here, kind of see that shine, little glisten on the floor. It just pulls it all together. It looks super cool. And then for some added atmosphere and texture, we shot in some haze and smoke, and that's what pulled together this whole motivated lighting scene. We started with those neon signs, and then it brought us to this point here. So this is the start of shooting. Very simple on the tripod, as high as I could go, and we had the artist performing, doing his thing. You can see the top light is covering the whole area. We have the open sign there, flashing, neon sign lit up. Everything is pulled together to look like a nighttime storefront for this neon nighttime type of vibe. And I love how this turned out. Probably one of my favorite scenes, and also probably one of the shortest scenes, unfortunately. But that's okay. I love how it turned out. So yeah, that's motivated lighting for you guys. Next is the top-down diagram of this, so you can see all the lights kind of coming together as one. So go over it again. We have the Alien 300C starting on our talent, and then the Pablo Slim 240C, which is our top light way up in the sky for moonlight. We have the little Pablo Tube 6C and the ATM machine to give it a nice little pop to the left side of the frame there. Then we have Forza 60C inside the store, giving us, that more open look, more vibe. And then the 60CL Pablo Slim under the awning, and then the other two Pablo Slims are our enhanced motivators from the green neon sign and the blue and red open sign. So yeah, lots of lights there. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 or 8 lights. So yeah, lots of lights there. I don't expect you guys to, do something like that, but just in general to see how all those things come together, I think is a cool little operation. Now, next is dynamic lighting. This is one of my favorite things to do, besides, all the other things I've showed you. And we use this a lot in music videos, dynamic lighting. So what that is it helps enhance drama and energy of the scene. And dynamic lighting is basically any lights that are moving or always changing within a scene constantly. This helps add more depth and texture to the scene, and helps the storytelling sometimes in films. For example, like if you're in a car and it's not actually outside, but you want it to look like it's driving, you could have some lights that have some flashing effects, stuff like that you're like passing by street lights. They're always changing. This helps maintain visual interest, throughout the video, through movement and different color shifts, especially for music videos. You want to entertain your audience and keep them watching. And with a lot of movement going on, dynamic lighting is going to cover that. So, example, as I kind of mentioned, different flashing, which a lot of lights these days, thankfully have different effects modes, like a flash, having lights moving in a scene physically, or changing colors. Lights can do a lot these days, which is super convenient and awesome. And these frames here are just some stills, but I'm going to show you the scenes itself. How they came together. These are some frames here from the video. You can't see the lights changing or moving, but you can kind of see they're not all the same exactly looking frames, and there's a reason behind that. So what I did for this scene, I had a moving spotlight in the back, and then some flashing side light and backlights. You can see those tubes up there. Those are going to be flashing, and then you can't really tell about the spotlight moving, but you'll see it shortly. And this helps kind of emphasize a high energy moment of the song, because we have this whole build up from those single source lighting scenes. We have 3 single source lighting scenes in the video, a few scenes you haven't seen yet, and then it goes to that contrasting color scene, and then the motivated lighting scene, building complexity, and then we have this high energy moment of the song that people might want to sing along to. And so to change it up, we moved from that motivated lighting scene in front of the storefront to this. And this scene has a lot of movement, a lot of energy, and that is, the whole point of that to keep the capture the attention of the viewer, and then also matching the energy of the song is super important. Um, Going along with that. So let's see how we did it here. Show you a scene from the music video. We come straight in. You see a lot of movement going on here. They see that spotlight go into like an actual one take. This is not from the video. This is just a straight raw take, but I'll show you exactly everything that's going on. We have this moving spotlight. It's probably one of my favorite things. Looks super cool, helps add to that production value. We have these flashing tubes in the back, keeping your eyes peeled and interested on what's going on. And then we have kind of like a subtle flashing side light on the shadow side of the artist's face that you can kind of see coming in and out. And then we have just one main key light that's always illuminating him. It's probably one of my favorite scenes as well. I liked all the scenes in this music video, but this is, super cool in terms of the energy it provides. So here's how we did it. I took these Nanlite Pavo tubes and stuck them on this metal beam here on a flashing mode. Thankfully, this location had this metal piping on the ceiling, so just took some magnet attachments, and stuck those way up there. Made the scene look way cooler than I originally planned it to be. Originally just wanted that spotlight back there. But yeah, had those going for some colors. And from this scene here, you can see all the lights flashing going on. And that was our start as a backlight for our artist. Next, I had I went straight back up on that storage container. I loved it because I could put that light way up there and do things I couldn't do without it previously. I took the Nanlite FC 500C, which is another powerful light with a Fresnel attachment, and I stuck it up here on the storage container for the reason of getting closer to the ceiling. So I don't know if you guys can tell. I'll pause this video here. Or just keep it going. But this ceiling kind of has like a reflector on it, or some mylar. And I took the light and basically bounced it off of the ceiling to give a way softer return on our talent. And then just overall kind of lighting the whole scene on the floor and the talent look way better than if I were to just blast it at his face, or throw a softbox at it. It would still look fine, but this looks way cooler. Whenever you have another place besides a softbox shooting straight at your talent, kind of like another layer of diffusion, or something that's gonna help make the light softer, I'm gonna do that. And thankfully, this location had this reflective ceiling that I used to my advantage. So yeah. Next, we take this Alien 300C once again, and I'm going to use it on this white bounce card. Now, what we do with the Alien 300C, there is a flashing side light on the artist throughout the video. And this is what I use Alien 300C for. And I wanted it to be much softer and subtle, so I shot it at this bounce card, as well as kept the diffusion on the Alien there, to keep it really subtle and nice. I didn't want too much going on. But yeah, and then next we take some smoke and haze, and I just shot it through this fan to spread it throughout this location, because this was like a big like industrial warehouse, and it was a lot of space to cover for the smoke, and I was using that whole like basically like corner of the warehouse. So we shot that in there. And then this is the shooting of the scene. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the moving spotlight. Super important. As you can see, I had a friend come and assist for a few hours just to wiggle this light around and move it. So if you don't have like a super large budget, like some of these music videos you might see with moving lights like this, that do it on their own with, certain machines, you can have someone on a light stand here, basically just moving it around, wiggling it around. This is a great technique to use that you might not, thought of before, but now to help add some more dynamic lighting to the scene and some more interest. Without this spotlight moving in the background, it would have been really dark and not interesting in the scene. I feel like this spotlight set off the whole scene, and and mood that we had going on. So overall, you can see we have our alien kind of giving us a return and flash on the artist in the front. We have our spotlight moving all around there in the back. I told him to hit the background as well as the artist at some points. And then we have that FC 500C hitting the ceiling. As you can see, it's lighting the whole space constantly, and lighting kind of more side light, but still kind of getting some of his face there. And then you see the flashing Pavo tubes up there, giving us a little kicker in the back, and yeah, some more visual interest. There's a lot of movement in the scene, which I really enjoyed, and it matched the energy of the song, which was perfect. So yeah, this is a more top-down look at it from the dynamic lighting perspective. We have, to start again, an Alien 300C on our bounce card, lighting up our talent from the side. We have the FC 500C with a Fresnel attachment shooting at that reflective ceiling, which was super cool. And then we have our Pavo tubes on the piping. I have four of them, and then the Forza 300B is what I used with a projection attachment. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Maybe I did. But yeah, that was our light that was swinging all around the background and making it look kind of cool there with a spotlight look. Next, I want to add like a little bonus one in there. This kind of incorporated two other things that I talked about so far. So single source lighting and dynamic lighting. It's a really simple and kind of subtle effect that we're going for in the scene, but it's super cool. As you can see in some of these frames, I have this, looks like a fan, industrial fan look. And you can kind of see this effect used in a lot of like Hollywood movies and different scenes like that, in industrial like warehouse vibes or stuff of that nature. And that's what I was going for because this whole location was a warehouse, and I wanted to match that. Just little freestyle scene. So what we did, we had one source, and we had spinning fan blades creating the movement of our a light in the scene. We had one single key light, which is also used as a side light if you move to a different angle, as you can see in one of these frames here. Now I'm going to show you how I did it. It's going to be pretty simple, but really cool trick to do here. So this is the clip from the music video. You can see these moving fan blades going, adding some interest to the scene. And then we had some haze in there to have those little light beams you saw. But yeah, really cool and simple scene. So here's how we did it. We have this industrial fan kind of up on this table here on top of a box. And then to get the fans to move, I just plugged it and unplugged the fan to make it just go slowly. So I'd wait for it to slow down a little bit, and then our artist would, start going at it. We had the Forza 500B with a projection attachment shooting straight through the fan there, and then we had haze. As you can see, the light beams. Hopefully, you can see the light beams there going on to add some little interest. But we have one single source, and then the fan blades give it that dynamic lighting perspective of moving without me having to do anything. So it's really cool. I use a projection attachment solely because it would focus straight through that fan and give it straight towards that wall. If I were to use a different, modifier, the light would kind of just blast, all over the scene, which is not something I really wanted to happen. So that's what we did here. And this is me shooting the scene on a tripod, and we have some handheld shots. Show you here. Yeah, I'm just plugged in and out. Super simple. And you see behind the scenes here, we had that going on. And then we have the top down diagram, pretty self-explanatory. One light shooting through a fan with a projection attachment. That's the industrial fan look. And then last thing I just kind of want to leave you guys with is there is no rules for music videos. I want you to break them. I hope you do. Music videos are meant to be creative. You can do anything with them. They're meant to be interpretive, and make what you want. There's no rules at the end of the day for these things compared to like more films and stuff like that may need to look a certain way, a certain strict way. With music videos, you can do anything you want, and you could say you did it for that reason, and it can be justified. So yeah, just have fun with it. There's no rules to lighting these things. Experiment, create, have fun. That's the most important thing. And yeah, that's it. Open you guys a Q&A session, and hope you guys learned a little bit of something today about music videos. And yeah.
Awesome, Julian. You gave us too much there. You gave us like the entire blueprint. I thought it was gonna be like, we usually get like a clip here and there. You're like, I'm over here taking notes. Like, we could do this. We could do this.
Hey, I had to give you a nice little, deep dive of the whole situation.
Nah, that's awesome. Look, if you would have just showed me clips here and there and didn't have like all the BTS, I would have thought you had like a 10-person crew on everything. We had a question come in on that from Visual Modulations, and I was thinking the same thing. What is your normal crew like? Is it usually lighter? I'm lazy, so I
Hmm.
know I would compromise on a lot of things like, no, do I really need this shot or do I really need this? How often are you working with more of a skeleton crew than a big crew, and how does that change the creative vision?
Yeah, so funny enough, I often work by myself for a lot of videos.
Wow.
Um, I did have one person help me for the one little spotlight scene for a few hours, but besides that, I typically work by myself, which is not something you probably want to do. But I do it I think, for the reason of challenging myself to see how how far I can go as a one person crew, and how big I can make the production look as one person, which I feel like I've been able to accomplish some cool things that way. But I don't recommend doing that all the time. It's not practical, and it's a lot of work. But I typically try to work by myself, or have a few helping hands. Helping hands are always great. Versus having a big crew, people are going to help you do all the jobs. Each person has their own single job for one little tiny thing, which is great. But that has a lot of moving pieces and can be kind of distracting sometimes. So a skeleton crew, as you kind of mentioned, is a great option with, say, like 4 or 5 people. That's amazing. Each person might wear a few different hats, which is an important thing to have as well, because if you know more on set, it's gonna help deliver overall better product. But yeah, you don't have to have experience with moving things. Even if you have a skeleton crew, you could have people who don't know how to light things, just people who have hands, you know, bringing stuff around, taking stuff out the car. Can you move a light this way? Or can you bring me this? It brings all the projects together. But if you have some helping hands when you're on set, definitely take advantage of that. If you need to work by yourself, obviously you can do that as well. But you can only go so far by yourself as a solo crew member. So just kind of
Mhm.
take that into account.
I've been doing it wrong this whole time. I should be out here working by myself, like grip, $5,000, put, putting in $100,000 pitches. It's all me. I'm doing everything.
Yeah, man.
More checks. Nah. I mean, look, you get control of that creative vision. And it's like it's funny, the person that's sitting here on camera is way different than who we saw in you're in there, you're focused, you're digging in. It's like you could see in some of these shots, you're setting everything up. Your mind is somewhere else. You see the vision, and even like down to like you're pouring the water on the floor, like
Yeah,
little
man.
things like that, like the detail. Like you really are you storyboarding everything out? How much is, because I know with video, it's like anybody who doesn't do video, if you don't at least have some idea, you can't go in and just wing it. And I know there are some people who are literal storyboard frame by frame. And there's
Hmm.
some people who is kind of just, okay, you know what? I have a general idea. I know kind of what I need. I'm just going to go out there and, you know, not wing it, but you're a little more loose. Where do you fall
Hmm.
on the spectrum? Are you more like, I know frame by frame what I want, or are you more like, I have a general idea, I'm gonna go out there and just kind of go with the flow?
Yeah, so in general, just overall, I'm probably more of a kind of go with the flow and, kind of feel it out type of thing. But for this music video, in general, I kind of had like a small storyboard and then where each scene was going to be, but I uh, didn't know what, each scene was really going to look like in the end. I had some, small inspo and little storyboards there, but on set is kind of where I usually figure out the lighting and dial it in and find all the small details. Um, it is good to have a little head start before you start production, which I try to have sometimes. But I think being creative on set is a strength of mine, and just kind of freestyling is fun. You never know what you can do, especially with music videos. I feel like you have more of the opportunity to do that and just be a little bit more laid back and kind of, making what you want, which I love about that aspect. So
Do a
yeah.
lot of the artists come in and are they leaning on you, or do they come in and they're pretty headstrong, like I want this, this is kind of the vision, or is it kind of like, hey, what do you think? Are you listening to the track to kind of get inspiration? How much does the track have to do with how the actual video looks?
Yeah, so in terms of the artist kind of weighing in, usually not too much. They kind of trust me with everything, which is
It's
great for
awesome.
me. I love doing that. That's when we make the best videos. But they're just like, here's a song, make something cool with it. I'll obviously tell them and get approval for them for the concept or whatever I'm doing first. Um, but yeah, they kind of leave it all to me, and hopefully they trust that it looks good in the end. As far as the song being a motivator, it is the biggest motivator in terms of how the video is going to look. A big reason why I'm in music videos is because whenever I hear songs, I always am like seeing something whenever I listen to music. Just it always happens. I'm seeing some sort of edit or scene going on. So whenever I listen to the song, I might listen to it 50 times, and I'll dial out where each scene is going to go, or how the lighting is going to look, or how a story is going to go for a concept. The song is very important depending on, the mood. If it's a rap song, it might look a certain way. If it's, something more slow and, moody, it might look a certain way. So yeah, song is super important in that aspect.
See, I'm the same way. I do the same thing. The only difference is I'm sitting here in my living room hosting educational content. You're out there making music videos. Same thing. Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
man,
I do the
that's
same
great.
thing. It's like you hear a song and it's like, wow, I could start. You get the mood down. How's my light gonna go? What's the
Hmm.
visuals gonna be? I think that's so awesome. There was something that you had touched on that really stuck out to me. And it's like when you talk about video, we talk about this all the time, me and my team. I have a filmmaker on my team. Shout out to Cooper behind the scenes there.
Hmm.
And we talk about how editing, how important editing is to the
Yeah.
finished product. And it's like, I didn't even think about that in terms of lighting, where it's like, if you have the wrong cut or you have the wrong clip in a certain spot, it's like you might have the right clip, but it's in the wrong spot, or you have the wrong transition or the wrong and lighting. I never even factored in lighting. It's like you're working with different kinds of lighting. And
Hmm.
can you talk a little bit about the lighting decisions as far as how the lighting lines up? Because I think we just think of lighting as like a one size fits all. It's like, oh, cool. If the lighting is good, it's good. But no, there's right lighting and wrong lighting for creating a mood, especially when you talk about going into like, moving lights versus static
Hmm.
lights. And, you did a really good job of breaking that down. How do you really get into, knowing, okay, this is when I need static lights. The scene's going to be very static. This is when I
Hmm.
need lights that are more like when you're in there recreating like the bodega lights, and then you got the spotlights moving. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I kind of think of it. I have like a one-dimensional approach where it's like I'm not thinking in terms of what's going to be moving, what's not, which is going to be which lighting scheme, and how do you go into that?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it all depends on, obviously, we kind of mentioned earlier the song and then where you're shooting. The song is going to kind of inspire the lighting setup. I base it on the energy of the song. So, how is the song progressing and moving as we're going throughout the whole video? That usually decides, if a light is, static or moving or, stuff like that. If the energy is slow in a song, we're going to keep the lights where they are most of the time because we don't want to show the audience energy in a more uh, you know a moment that's gonna want to look at the artist and focus on them and their lyrics. That could be something sad or moody. We want to keep it still. If the energy is high in the song and it's upbeat and it's a part of the song where you might want people to sing to, it's a hook. Uh, that's where you're gonna want to incorporate something that might be moving or capture the people's attention. Because if you're watching a music video and you see moving lights in the scene and it's like the hook of the song, that's might be the most important part that you're watching because you might remember it. You're gonna see all these things going on. It's like, oh wow, and you're also seeing the song. hyping up energy as well. So it kind of enhances the song. The lighting enhances the song in general.
I love it. It's like the combination of light, like light equals energy. So
Hmm.
you're the kind of the energy level is like you don't want the lighting taking somebody all over the place, and you're like, wait, this is
Right.
like a slow R&B style song. Like I just want to
Yeah,
feel and
yeah, yeah.
appreciate the moment. That's awesome. Well, before we let you go, Julian, throw it out into the universe. If you have one artist you can make a music video for, who's at the top of
Oof.
the list?
Oh boy. You gotta give me this question. If I can make a music video for one artist, I'd probably make a video for Russ. He's a pretty cool artist. I look
Dope.
up to and I like his videos as well. So if I can shoot something for Russ, if you're watching, let's work together.
You got to manifest it, man. We're throwing it out into the
Yes,
universe.
yes.
It's like, look, it's you got a long career ahead of you. You're doing great things. I want to thank you for taking your time. Not only just your time, man. Like I said, you gave us the entire recipe to the secret sauce here, which is we love to see it. We don't like bullet points. We like to see the work in action. And I think that's super inspiring to know that you just picked up and you had a dream and you're out there doing it. For all the people out there like me who sit there and are like, I don't have this, or I need this, or I need to learn this. It's like, just do the damn thing. Get out there and do
Yeah.
it. So, Julian, I want to thank you again, man. Any closing words?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Just I hope you guys, learn something today of some sort, or, get inspired to use some of these setups or, techniques in your own productions, whether it be music videos, films, or whatever it may be. Take these into your everyday lighting techniques, and yeah, enjoyed teaching you guys something today, and hope you got some out of it. Thank you for having me, man.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on again, Julian. Huge thank you to Nanlite for hosting today's event. Look, we live in a great time. You can literally pick up with a phone that you already have and minimal amount of money spent on gear. You saw Julian out there doing it himself. So there's no excuse. You literally have no excuse. Go out there, make it happen. On behalf of the B&H Event Space, another edition of it in the books. Catch y'all next time.